Well, thank you for staying with us here on THV 11 Plus for Arkansas News Now. I'm Tamara Knight, and happy 2026.
Yeah, we got to get in the rhythm of it.
2026. Well, things seems to be bright and warm for just January 1st, Tracy. It seems nice out. Haven't been out, but it seems nice.
Yeah, we can't complain, right? It's beautiful out there. Lots of blue sky, and we are seeing a few more clouds rolling in. That is expected, and that won't impact your plans at all today. So hopefully you're out and about and you have the day off and you can enjoy. We are looking again 63 in central Arkansas. We got a little breeze there westerly around 6 miles per hour. Not too bad. We're going to see that dew point go up just a little bit with that cloud coverage continuing to increase. Around the state, we are seeing again a few 50s, mainly 60s, but down south we could reach some highs today that are very close to 70 degrees, believe it or not. But here in central Arkansas for New Year's Day, a lot of sunshine again, but as we're heading into sunset, we'll start to see those clouds rolling in. You may just get a little glimpse of the moon tonight, and looking for those temperatures not to drop too far. But again, we are going to start to see some of those 70s this afternoon, believe it or not, down south. So quite the temperatures to start out the year, but we are talking about those temperatures still staying above average as we're heading into the next week or so. But I'll let you know also about our rain chances coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Tracy. Early voting continues for primaries in 2 special elections to fill the vacancies in the legislature. One here in central Arkansas, the other in the River Valley. About 6 people cast ballots in the Democratic primary for the House district in parts of North Little Rock and Sherwood. Democrats are eyeing this race as a potential flip, with Cordelia Smith-Johnson facing Alex Holliday. Early voting is open for 2 weeks up through Election Day, Tuesday, January 6th. There are 2 early voting locations, the Pulaski County Regional Building in Little Rock and First Christian Church of Sherwood. They are open from 8 to 5, but they will not be open on weekends or on New Year's Day today. More polling locations will open on Election Day and local precincts. The other race pits 5 Republicans vying to fill the vacant state Senate seat following the death of Gary Stubblefield earlier this year. The winner will face independent Adam Watson in March, and all of the candidates say they are opposed to locating a proposed 3,000-bed prison in Franklin County in that district. For more info on both races, head to our website at thv11.com. And there was a different kind of New Year's countdown in downtown Little Rock yesterday. The Department of Children and Family Services did a countdown to the number of kids left in foster care in Arkansas. At the start of November, which was National Adoption Awareness Month, it was 178. 2 months later, that's dropped by more than 30.
Children belong in loving homes. Government should not raise children. Family should. And we're here today to celebrate some progress.
That new number, now 146, represents progress, but officials say there's still more work to be done. In collaboration with Arkansas-based group Project Zero, they want to keep working until there are no kids left to be adopted in the entire state. And an investigation is underway by state police after a suspect was injured in an officer-involved shooting. The incident happened yesterday morning, and authorities say 2 Dallas County deputies and a Fordyce police officer were involved in an attempt to arrest a suspect on probation. The suspect, an active felon with a failure to appear warrant. Both the officer and the deputies were not hurt, and the suspect was taken to a hospital for treatment. And new this afternoon, we're taking a closer look at the real-life fallout for families in Minnesota after the Trump administration paused federal assistance to childcare centers there. Parents wondering if their kids' daycare is in jeopardy as the government investigates fraud claims. Jonah Kaplan has the following details on this story and more from Minneapolis.
From Homeland Security Investigations.
With roughly $185 million in federal funding frozen, a question. What happens to the 19,000 children from low-income families which rely on those child care services?
Over 20,000 children in over 4,000 programs across our state will lose access to child care and early learning.
or $5 million got sent to this daycare center.
Federal officials credited this viral video from YouTube influencer Nick Shirley, who claimed he found dozens of empty daycares and health clinics that were scamming taxpayers.
Try to get in, rang the doorbell, nobody showed up.
We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
CBS News visited and reviewed the daycares mentioned in the video. One had a playground, another shared security footage with us, showing kids getting picked up and dropped off on the same day Shirley arrived. Several daycares were previously cited for safety violations, but state regulators found no evidence of fraud. The influencer's video faced pushback today from other daycares, including this center, which said it was vandalized earlier this week.
We've been receiving hateful messages through our voice notes threatening us.
Beyond daycares, there's no question Minnesota is reeling from a fraud crisis in other social services programs. Federal prosecutors have charged more than 90 people since 2022. More than 60 have been convicted. Investigators say the fraudsters exploited COVID-era rules to steal hundreds of millions of dollars intended to feed low-income kids, house the disabled, and provide services to autistic children. Court files obtained exclusively by CBS News showed where some of that money went instead. Luxury villas, fancy cars, and overseas wire transfers. There are 14 social programs in Minnesota funded by Medicaid that are currently under investigation by both federal and state officials. Childcare is not one of them. But also today, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison threatened to sue the Trump administration to ensure that childcare funding doesn't stop. Jonah Kaplan, CBS News, Minneapolis.
In this new year, millions of Americans will see a rise in their health care insurance costs. This coming because subsidies, a part of the Affordable Care Act, have officially expired. Congress was not able to extend them to at least 92% of those enrolled, potentially impacting many low-income families that are helped by tax credits. A Covering Florida Navigator Program Director Chanjis Jacobs makes the case very simple.
People simply can't afford some of the premiums that have been happening in this coming year.
The KFF estimates that about 24 million people signed up for insurance in the Affordable Care Act last year. And movie theaters across the U.S. and Canada saw small but significant growth in 2025. A new ComScore data reports say that ticket sales rose 2% over the year. That added up to nearly $9 billion in sales. That gain comes despite long stretches of empty seats, as well as several wide releases that failed to draw crowds. A number of franchises are hoping to keep ticket sales up by offering membership deals to those who see movies at the theater at least 6 times a year. And the season of giving is over. Now comes the season of returns. After break, we're looking at the deadlines and the new fees you should know before sending those gifts back.
And it's a beautiful start to the new year. We are looking at temperatures in the low 60s, and we could even see some 70s this afternoon to the south of us. We'll talk more about what the weekend outlook is coming up.
Well, today marks the beginning of the busiest month for returns as unwanted holiday gifts head back to retailers. But deadlines and fees vary by store. CBS Evan Moon has what you need to know before time runs out for a return.
This month, tens of millions of dollars in holiday gifts will get sent back. According to the National Retail Federation, 17% of all holiday sales will be returned, and 82% of shoppers will return at least one unwanted gift within the month.
Items that I got didn't work as I expected it to be, so I found something better.
A lot of holiday gifts and lots of gifts for myself.
But be prepared to pay up. More than 70% of retailers are charging for returns this year.
I think more and more retailers are instituting return fees.
David Sobey, the CEO of Happy Returns, says these fees are covering big costs.
They're charging because returns are expensive, right? There's return shipping fees, there's handling, If items have been worn or damaged, they may need to pay to refurbish them, or in some instances, just get rid of them altogether.
By some estimates, it costs retailers around $34 to process a return for a $100 item. Sobey says read the fine print and opt for an in-store return if possible.
It's just much less friction than having to print a label, find a box, tape it up, and wait to get your money back. And they often are the cheapest form.
It's a hassle. That's why I have friends helping me because it's heavy.
And watch out for return windows. Larger retailers may give you more time. Walmart, Amazon, and Kohl's have a January 31st cutoff date.
One useful tip, if you miss a return deadline or want to avoid those fees, you can resell your unwanted gifts and even gift cards at a discount using sites like Card Cash, eBay, and Facebook Marketplace.
Another option, continue to spread the cheer with the age-old practice of regifting or gift swapping with a friend. Evan Moon, CBS News, New York.
I will say returning things have been a little bit more easier these days.
I order a lot off of Amazon, and I will say they make it very easy to return things, and you get your money pretty quickly as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you can take it to Whole Foods. It's not like you
UPS
have to go to,
and
you have to
and
go
you don't even
to
have to take a box most of the time.
You just take the
so
item. That's very
so
true.
Easy. I think I did most of my returns before Christmas, actually, when I was swapping some things out and that sort of thing. I don't think I have anything afterwards.
Same. I think I did fairly well this year.
Yeah, and my children will say I picked perfect gifts for them. They had nothing to return.
That's a win.
That's all right, yeah. That's what we're going to go with. That's what I have in my brain. All right, we're going to talk about this gorgeous forecast that we've got going on here. It's hard to believe that it is January 1st. Of course, it was also hard to believe that when we were at Christmas week, it was in the 70s, but there we were, right there. We can see the 70s. We started the month in the 30s, so we're all thinking, yeah, we've got winter here. It's time to get cold, get the coats out. And then December just couldn't decide what she wanted to do. And again, we had everything from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and we even decided to have some 70s in December. So we did have 18 days that were above average and 13 that were below. So we just skipped the whole average day. But we are going to continue to see these above average temperatures once again as we are starting off this first week of January. We don't really have a lot going on weather-wise. We're kind of in this quiet space, which, I'm loving. We are all just kind of relaxing a little bit, but we're all starting to see a little bit more cloud cover as we're heading into the afternoon, and that will continue to increase in the overnight hours. It is 63 in the capital city right now, and we're already starting to see a few areas to our south that are warming up pretty nicely today, and believe it or not, we could even see some 70s down south or right around 69. It's going to be a nice warm day again, so enjoy this day. Even though we're going to start to see some clouds here in the next little bit kind of take over the sky, it's still going to make for a really nice evening. We are looking again, as I mentioned, those clouds moving in overnight tonight, and when we wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to see those temperatures in the lower 50s, so again, warmer, and they're going to be fairly light. Now we are looking at that southeast easterly flow, and that is going to again still give us that high right around 60, maybe even a little bit above degrees. Now we could see a little stray shower here and there, but I'm not expecting a lot of rain really for anyone, and we'll talk more about that here in a second. But around the state, again, it's going to kind of be a mixed bag of some really warm temperatures to our south and keeping things a little bit cooler off here into the northeast, and I'll tell you why here. We are looking again for a little rain chance that's going to come through, and the next bigger rain chance is going to be next week. But for now, we got to talk about burn bans. We do have several counties over in northwest Arkansas and off to the west and the south that have been added. So again, make sure you are checking that before you do fireworks or maybe do any burning. But keep in mind, though, the entire state as a whole is dry, and there's several counties. Again, if you're not under a burn ban, you're already under that wildfire danger. So again, not a lot going on other than clouds continuing to increase, but there's those very, very, very light showers. But this is why we're seeing those temperatures maybe be a little bit cooler over there in northeastern Arkansas tomorrow. They may get some rainfall that will help, and they need it for sure. It's going to move on out of here, and we're really not looking again for that next significant chance for rain until we move into late Wednesday into Thursday of next week. This is still a bit far out, so we're going to have to make sure we're still keeping an eye on it, but we'll know more as it gets a little bit closer. But the 7-day forecast, for the first week of the year isn't too bad at all. We may have a few of those showers tomorrow, but as you saw, those are going to be very sparse, so mainly cloud cover, I think. And then as we're heading into the weekend, we're going to get that sunshine back, and we're going to see those temperatures creeping back up into the 60s by next week.
Well, from diss tracks to Demon Hunters, 2025 set the stage for an unforgettable year. This afternoon, Gwen Baumgartner looks back at some of the major entertainment stories.
They not like us. They not like us.
Kendrick Lamar kicked off 2025 with 5 Grammy wins, including Song and Record of the Year for Not Like Us. And only a week later, headlining the Super Bowl halftime show with a musical performance surrounded by social commentary.
Oh, look at these two.
It wasn't the music that made this Coldplay concert unforgettable.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
This Jumbotron moment went viral, sparking parodies, memes, and the pair's job resignations. At the Oscars, indie film Anora walked away with 5 awards, including Best Picture. And at the Emmys, Apple TV's The Studio received 13 wins, setting a record for most wins by a comedy series in a single season. Jimmy Kimmel was temporarily out of a job when ABC suspended him following a monologue about the murder of Charlie Kirk. The decision prompted protests and discourse about free speech. Adding to the late-night shakeup,
the network will be ending The Late Show in May. And
Stephen Colbert announced his decade-running show on CBS was coming to an end. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs was convicted on prostitution charges and sentenced to 50 months in jail following a trial that spanned several weeks. And the legal battle continues for It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Lively accused Baldoni of sexual harassment. He hit back with a lawsuit claiming defamation and extortion. Baldoni's lawsuit was dismissed. Memorials continue to grow following the shocking death of Rob Reiner, the decorated director and actor, along with his wife Michelle, killed in their Los Angeles home.
I want to tell you how the world lost its mind with grief the day you died.
This was part of a tribute to Diane Keaton as the world said goodbye to several Hollywood legends in 2025. Actors Robert Redford, Gene Hackman, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne.
They're stealing the souls of our fans?
K-pop Demon Hunters hit a high note on Netflix, becoming the site's most streamed movie ever. At the domestic box office, the Minecraft movie had the year's biggest opening weekend, pulling in more than $162 million. Billionaires headed down the aisle in 2025. Jeff Bezos wed Lauren Sanchez in Venice. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco had an intimate ceremony in California. Taylor Swift also got her love story. The singing superstar became engaged to NFL boyfriend Travis Kelce in August. Her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, became the fastest-selling album in history. Those are some of the year's top entertainment stories. Gwen Baumgardner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Happy New Year, everybody. 2026 is going to kick off with a whole lot of college hoops. Let you know when and where to watch our local teams coming up later today, next in sports.
The THV 11 Sports Desk, sponsored by your Central Arkansas Hyundai dealer.
Happy 2026, everybody. Let's look back at 2025 real quick. After the Razorbacks beat James Madison on Monday, John Calipari was asked about the current state of college basketball, especially about eligibility after you may be involved in pro ball. The ensuing rant went on for almost 7 minutes, blew up online, caught the attention of the NCAA, who released a statement clarifying that no player who signed an NBA contract would be granted eligibility. Still, Cal took to the SportsCenter airwaves to continue the airing of grievances.
Well, here's what I think has to happen. I think a group of us coaches has got to get together and say, look, here's what we think. Here are the 4 or 5 things we need to do. You ready for this? You get sued, you get sued. But I think if you're doing right by the young people, if you're doing right by the sport, you win those suits. If you're not being fair, you lose those suits.
And speaking of modern day college athletics, transfer portal entries for the Razorbacks yesterday hitting close to home. Former CAC and Conway quarterback Grayson Wilson will be transferring away from the Razorbacks, leaving KJ Jackson as the only QB in that room right now. Joining Wilson in the transfer portal, defensive lineman Charlie Collins, Pine Bluff native who played at Mills. In other former Arkansas high school football news, Kevin Williams, officially a finalist for the NFL Hall of Fame. The former Fordyce Red Bug, one of the top defensive tackles of the early 2000s for the Vikings, is one of 15 finalists. Up to 5 can be voted into the Hall of Fame. They'll be announced in early February. And we finally get college basketball back today. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different local teams playing at some point. There's who they're playing and what time. And you know what? Actually, I lied. It's not 5, it's 6, because up in Jonesboro, the Arkansas State women are taking on Southern Miss tonight at 6. Looking to build on a 2025 that saw the men and women win 10 games each before January 1st for the first time in program history.
Well, in case you missed it, Netflix dropped a 2-hour series finale of Stranger Things last night, but fans had to wait a few minutes before starting the anticipated conclusion. According to Variety, the streamer crashed at 7 p.m. right when the show was set to premiere. The issue lasted a little more than a minute, and then fans were able to start the show. But this is actually the second time in a month streamers has had to deal with a Stranger Things related crash. And ahead of that premiere, we caught up with a young Arkansan who actually appeared on the show during its iconic run. Hendrix Yancey played 13 in season 4 and 5 of the show. Brooke Buckner sat down with her yesterday to look back at her experience and the new season. You can find that story right now on THE11.com.
Those shows don't get much bigger than Stranger Things, and to have someone on it right here
in Arkansas,
yeah, we are so proud of her.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Such an accomplishment. Lots of people are excited, and I'm not surprised at all that those servers crashed.
I need to get excited and actually start to tune in.
Yeah.
I've been told I'm missing out.
Yeah, it's one of those you've got to kind of keep up with it. So. But it's pretty good. It's very creative. You always wonder how people think of those things.
Well, that's why you do the weather.
That's why, yeah. We all have our specialties. Oh, well, talking about the weather here, that I do know. We are again looking at a beautiful first day to the year here. And as we are heading into the evening hours, we'll see a little bit more of those cloud cover. And then again, tomorrow we could see a little spotty rain shower, but I expect most people will just get some clouds. And if you get any rain, you'll be one of the lucky ones. I think most of that will stay north.
And thank you so much for joining us here on THV 11 Plus. Until next time, Happy New Year and go 2026.
It's going to be a great one.